and good morning. If you're on the West Coast, good afternoon. If you're on the East, this is Don. Welcome to whatever we do here. If you're watching us on either Facebook or YouTube, um, please subscribe to what we do here. If you're DLP Radio on Facebook, and if you're on Radio Don One on YouTube, please subscribe. Um, Please ring the bell for all notifications and help us out by going to our piggy bank at paypal.me/Radio Don. That's paypal.me/Radio Don. And we will put the banners up so you can know exactly who to follow. So, we've had another one in America. A mass shooting, this time in the entertainment district of downtown Austin, Texas. For those people who don't know what has been going on, and quite frankly, you probably don't because this has not been trending for some reason. 13 people were shot on Friday night in the entertainment district of downtown Austin. There have been no deaths yet, but there have been two people who were injured seriously. And also, the person suspected of doing the shooting is still out there. He has not been caught. So basically, it is an active shooter situation several hours after this has happened. According to KVUE, there was a eyewitness, and I'll read the story to you. As we learn more about what happened and before and during that mass shooting in Austin, we're hearing from law enforcement and emergency responders, but we've also been trying to get in touch with people who were on 6th Street and witnessed what happened. Taylor Blount was standing along the busy street when all the chaos happened. Quoting Taylor Blount now, well, it was about 1:30 in the morning. And I was standing on the block looking towards where the shooting happened, which was in front of 512 and Jackalope. You probably know where it is if you live in Austin. Going back to Mr. Blount. I heard it sounded like, at least from the same gunfire, about 5 to 10 shots into the crowd. I did not see the shooter. Other people were in front of him. There was a brief pause, then everybody started running different directions. It became quite chaotic. Once he saw people running, he went for cover. I went back to the bar that I had been drinking at, and everybody closed and locked the doors, Blount said. He said that before the shooting happened, the crowds on 6th Street looked as panicked as it did prior to the previous coronavirus pandemic. Now that vaccinations are ramping up, downtown Austin's nightlife appears to be returning in full force. The weekend marked the return of something called the ROT Rally, or ROT Rally 2021. And if you live in Austin, you probably know what it is. So if you can explain it to me in the comments, thank you. 13 people were sent to hospitals after the shooting happened, as I mentioned. No one has died yet from their injuries. The Austin Police Department and the FBI are looking for the shooter. Now, Austin leaders and state officials are thanking law enforcement for a very quick response to the shooting. Mayor Steve Adler of Austin called the mass shooting, quote, a part of a disturbing rise, one second please, part of a disturbing rise in gun violence across the country, unquote. One thing is clear, again quoting Mayor Adler, one thing is clear, greater access to firearms does not equal greater public safety, the mayor said in that statement that was released Monday morning. The White House also responded to the attack. Quoting White House spokesman Ike Hajanazarian, and if I messed up your name, sir, I do apologize. Uh, Quoting the spokesperson this morning, Austin has become just the latest American community to wake up ravaged by an act of senseless gun violence. While we while we pray for the shooting's victims and their families and thank first responders for their quick, heroic work, we must not lose sight of what this tragedy again makes clear. It's time past, long time past, for the Senate to pass meaningful gun reform and allow Texans and all Americans to enjoy a night out without the fear of another night of gun violence. Texas Representative Michael McCall said, quote, I am horrified to wake up to the news of a shooting on 6th Street. Senseless violence of any kind is reprehensible, and I am saddened to see that happen in Austin. I am praying for the 13 individuals make a praying that the full 13 individuals make a full recovery and that law enforcement can quickly identify the suspect. Austin City Council person and Kitchen reiterated the mayor's message, saying that there's no place for guns on our streets as we reopen the city, quote, unquote. Austin City Council member Mackenzie Kelly also mentioned, quote, we are grateful for the swift response of law enforcement with them and stand with them as they continue their investigation. Bryce Newberry, I think he's also well, actually, Bryce Newberry, I don't know who that person is, but I guess he works for KVUE. But the council person was named Allison Atler, and Miss Atler released this statement on Twitter. Since early this morning, the Austin Police Department has been investigating the horrific mass shooting on 6th Street. At this time, there are numerous shooting victims with 2 injuries that are life-threatening. We hold those who have been injured and their families in our prayers today, and we also pray for the recoveries of those injured. We are grateful for the swift response of law enforcement and stand with them as they continue their investigation. Let there be no question this despicable and cowardly act steals our commitment to making Austin lead the nation in being the safest city in America. And then there's Greg Abbott, the governor of the state of Texas, and who's been very, very pro-gun on a lot of things. Governor Abbott thanked the Austin Police Department and first responders for helping save lives. He said the Texas Department of Public Safety is working with the Austin Police Department to ensure those responsible for the shooting, to ensure those responsible for that get caught. Quoting the governor, the Texas Department of Public Safety is working closely with Austin Police to respond to this shooting and ensure that the perpetrators are captured and punished to the fullest extent of the law. Thank you to APD, Austin Police Department, and first responders for quickly responding to the scene and saving lives. Cecilia, Mrs. Abbott, and I ask our fellow Texans to join us in prayer for those who are injured. He mentioned nothing about guns and gun laws. Here's the thing that is driving me nuts. The fact that this has not been trending on any social media. It hasn't been trending on Twitter. It has not been trending on Facebook. You may have seen something about this on YouTube, but that's probably if you were watching anything, if you live in the Austin, Texas area or Texas specifically. I'm trying to bring up Twitter right now to see if there's anything trending. And there's nothing trending. There's nothing trending. Um, there's a story about Eric Trump discussing the economy on Fox News. Uh, the first openly gay major league player was a Dodger. There was a story about him. There was a Delta flight that has some trouble on it. Uh, but nothing about what happened in Dallas. I mean, in Austin. Nothing. There's a UFC fight tonight. Something about women in Korea. Rachel Maddow said something that's trending. There's something called the Delta variant. I guess it was a COVID-19 thing. But again, nothing trending on what's going on in Austin, Texas this morning, probably because no one has died yet. Maybe it's because, we are attracted to stories like this only if people die. And that's wrong. If two people die, if the two people who are suffering life-threatening injuries do wind up dead on this, and then we do start paying attention, it's probably because we're just fascinated with death and slaughter and not with what's really going on. And as I said again many, many times, it's not as much the fact that guns are involved. It's the fact that there is something wrong with us. And I'm not talking about mental health either. There's something deeply wrong with the American psyche that brings us to these places. And that is something that we really need to focus on. A culture that celebrates this. We need to do something about that, and we need to do that quickly because we're killing ourselves. And what happened last night in Austin, Texas is proof positive that's what we're doing. And with that, we wrap things up. Thank you very much for joining us. We will talk to you again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.